Reed, I want to go over this a little pitch shot with you because I think this is a little bit of a microcosm of what's going on here for you. Let's take this back slowly. Now I'm hand holding this camera, so it won't be as exact as my. Right there. When it gets that far inside your hands and behind you like that, that's laid off of the target like that. Now it's going to swing around. It's going to swing on this plane instead of down inside the ball. Now there's two things that you do to correct that, and one of them is, see, that's not a shank, but it is ever so close to one. And it's the natural centrifugal force of the club that's coming like that. You know, and right now it's outside the hands early, right, and it's not vertical enough. So it's swinging out. The weight of that club head wants to swing out away from you like this. Okay, so if it comes out like that, you've got a shank. So when you hit, when that pops up in your game, see, because your shoulder line's not that's not the problem. You're turning through. Your hand line's into your body. It's not that type of a thing. So if I go here, these are all the other reasons that you would shank. Your hands are actually in. You know, we've had fought times in the past where your hands were out, but it's still. It's not the hands in relation to the body, it's the club head in relation to the hands swinging on that flat plane out. So picture this, you're kind of, if it goes back on this kind of an incline, it's going to come down on this kind of an incline, and you're going to swing at times outside the ball. So the correction for all this then is, and this would go for your full swing too, as I'll show you in a minute, not to let the club get that far off your hands. Get the club like this, in line with your hands. So that would be a setting of your wrist a little bit more. So if the club were to come down like this, right, you get that image, you wouldn't hit the hosel, you'd hit the toe. Because that's what happens with these things. So work on that, okay? Set it in line with your hands. And the only thing I would add to that thought for you, and it's not like we haven't had this before, so is a little more relaxed in your setup by flexing your knees and definitely not hunching up the shoulders. I think you set a lot of tension in your game by getting too tight like that. See, there's that flat inside move even with the irons. Now on a full swing, you've got a little more time to pull it back in at the bottom, but on a short shot, that backswing right there where the club's way outside your hands can lead to a problem. See, that's the part now, it's actually in line with your hands, right? That's the part that you're not doing in the full swing. In the pitch shots, the short shots. It stays outside your hands. So this club coming down here can get back to the ball because it's coming down, it's not so far outside your hands. It doesn't get outside your hands until there when it stood should start to cross the railroad tracks. Like, you know what I mean? Like I call this crossing the tracks. So that's when it should happen. But if it happens any more or earlier than that, you're going to be shanking the ball. Then you complete it with a good turn through. So I'm going to start you off this year on a set with your wrist and a turn through with your driver. A set of your wrist and a turn through with your body. Right now, start your lower body to turning. So when you get down to about this far, Reed, when your left arm is parallel to the ground, you'd only see one knee if your hips were rotating properly. See, if you see how it's pointed down the line there at the target, it used to cross the line on you. See, it's pointed down the line. Now look at the plane that comes down on there, and that's good. I mean, that's where it should be. So I want you to get in your mind a correlation between where it is up there, and that's why I'm trying to get that pitch shot, the one that you occasionally shank, and the one where the bunker has given you a problem in the past too. I want you to get that in line like this with your hands. Like I would call this in line with your hands. This is even a little cross, not like you used to, but across. But the one that's out here, that has a definite 80% chance of hitting the hosel sometimes on a short shot. So if it's pointed to the left at the top, it's going to come down outside the ball when you're pitching. All right, and work on your turn through. And I think you relax at the setup. Get a little more flex in your knees. That'll give you a little more relaxation of your body too. All right, good to see you. Glad your health is good. Take care.